Hi everyone, my name is Risha and I'm a junior at the Miami Valley School, and right now we are in a class slash program, I guess you could call it, called immersion, which is when we spend all of January kind of immersing into one subject and learning about something more in depth. And right now my immersion is called Peaceful Warrior, and this is my first reflection video. So I kind of wanted to start by talking about what was the most important thing that I think I gained from this week. And for me, it was the idea that what we actually experience and what's in our mind and what we come up with in our mind is totally different. But I never realized how much that changing it in our mind affects us long term and affects everything we do and the way we see ourselves. And moving into that, the way we see ourselves, the first few days we've done a lot of meditation. And the meditation for me has definitely been challenging. Not only because I am pretty tired, and I definitely did fall asleep during one of them, but also because I'm very much in my head all the time. My brain is always going a million miles per hour, whatever, super fast. And so getting out of my head and just sitting and listening was really hard, but also rewarding, because just being able to clear your mind and experience everything and feel everything, and when we were meditating, feeling the sensations of the energy in your toe and in your fingers just took my breath away, because it was just so clear that it wasn't something I was making up in my mind. It wasn't something that someone was telling me to feel, something that someone was pressuring me to feel. It was something that I was feeling. You have to experience who you are. You have to experience things, and you have to experience your own feelings and your own thoughts, and you can only cultivate your true thoughts and your true identity from your own experiences. And I feel like the meditating really helped me learn that. And speaking more about self, we listened to a podcast from Dharma Ocean. This podcast was my favorite moment so far this first week, because it was so real to me, and the way that he was bringing up points about, he said in the podcast that perfectionism is a form of self-hatred, and I feel like that really, really stuck with me. We move towards trying to be perfect, something that can't be accomplished, something, it's not even perfect as a standard, it's perfect as something that we can't even reach, and the fact that we're trying to get there is just counterintuitive, and it's harmful, and I've realized that so much of my own, I guess, perfectionist tendencies are what hurts me in the end. It hurts me in the long term. And I feel like I never realized that, and I always thought, oh, being a perfectionist is a good thing, because that means you're working harder, you're working smarter, but you're also just tearing down any self-love or any confidence that you have, which is, I think more important than getting a 98 instead of a 93. And also talking about self, they talked a lot about how you have to love yourself before you can have empathy for other people. Interesting, because I guess we never think about that. I guess traditional society tells us that if you love yourself, you're being arrogant, you're being whatever, and you should focus on loving other people and devoting your time to other people and giving up things for other people, but you can't really give up things for other people to help them until you love yourself. And I just thought that was interesting, because it was very different from the reality. That in reality, you actually have to love yourself before you can love other people, but in our minds, we make it up. Society and whatever tells us that, oh, you should work towards loving other people and give up things for other people, and you should just sacrifice your happiness and your whatever for other people all the time. And that's not what the reality is. That's not what the truth is at some point. And I feel like just from this meditation and that podcast, I've gained so much awareness. I really felt this awareness whenever we were doing the Toshindo and the kickboxing, because I personally don't feel like there's a way for you to possibly be in your head while you're doing Toshindo or kickboxing, because when someone swings at you with a pad, you're going to go into your right brain and you're just going to swing. That's what you have to do. You can't be in your head. You can't be thinking about it, and you can't be not aware, not there. If you're not there, you're not going to swing. You're going to miss. You're going to whatever. And I just felt like that. I love how things fit together in this immersion. How we learn something and then you see the experience. How we talk about something and then you feel it. For me, that feels so fulfilling, because it is all about experience. It's not about someone telling you these deep philosophical whatever, all these things, and then you just having to believe them. It's us learning about awareness and then feeling that awareness when we do the Toshindo and we do the kickboxing. And what I also loved about kickboxing is that I had always made this idea of myself in my head that I was never going to be strong and never going to be someone who's a kickboxer who could punch and kick and all those things. Like, for me, that wasn't me. That's not me. In my head, in my identity, my little box I've created for myself, I'm a dancer. I'm creative. I'm academic. I'm not strong. I can't punch and kick things. That's what I've created in my head. And and I realized once I went into kickboxing, like, maybe I'm not that great, but that doesn't mean that that's not part of who I am. And I loved the kickboxing, and I thought it gave me so much confidence, and I felt so powerful, and it was such an amazing thing because it was something that I never thought I could do, something that I never thought would be part of who I am, up the opportunity to be everything you want to be when you say you're one thing. And that's what I've learned from these 3 days, and I just think it's so powerful and so meaningful. And I guess to kind of conclude, I'm really, really, really excited for the rest of this immersion because it's already been so impactful, but not impactful in the way that, like, again, this idea that I had created for it. I thought, oh, it's gonna make me feel like a totally different person in 3 days. And I don't feel like a totally different person. I feel like I'm acutely aware of so much more. And I'm kind of keyed into so much more in life, in my relationships, and whatever. Like, I feel like I'm so much more keyed into them, and I'm experiencing them for the moment, and I'm not living in my head, and I'm trying to live in every moment. And I think that that's gonna serve me not only this month, but for the rest of my life. And for that, I'm so, so grateful.